Okay guys, welcome back. So we're going to do a quick what's in the bag with the main man here. Look at your 2019 setup. You and I done this probably August or September last year.
Something like that, yeah.
We done a little kind of what's in the bag and talked through our stuff, and I don't think either of us have made too many wholesale changes to our setup.
Little tweaks here and there.
Little tweaks, yeah. Right,
Yep.
So why don't we start at the top with you, Matty, and run
Sure.
through your driver, into the irons, into the wedges.
Okay, sounds good. So the head is the same.
Okay.
We know that. Still an LST head.
Yep.
Still 10 degrees open as it goes. Little shaft change.
Little shaft change for you this year. So this time last year, I think you were probably still using TPT.
I was.
The LKP LT. You just found that it was maybe a little bit heavy.
Maybe just the balance of where the weight was.
So it was a little bit kind of too much down low, and
I think so.
You felt a little bit more comfortable with Tensei.
So it's definitely been good. The flight is nice. I think it maybe just feels a little bit more stable through the swing.
Okay.
But it's been good. I don't think the ball flight has changed much.
Right.
When I'm hitting it well. So it wasn't I don't think this was a big change. Probably just more of a little minor
tweak.
Minor update to the driver.
Yeah, I mean, and obviously we're going through the Ultimate Driver bracket right now, so we're going to end up with a new one for you to test.
To test at least, yeah.
We've said that several times now, that Matt may necessarily not put whatever driver wins the bracket in play. It's got to ultimately beat what you've got.
For sure.
It's the name of the game.
Yep.
Okay, fairway wood.
So fairway wood is definitely not changed. This was a late ad though. I don't even remember if it was in the bag when we did the first one. So TS3.
Maybe not.
TS3 16.5 degree.
Okay.
Little open, little flat. Graphite Design IZ7 in there. So this has been a good one for me. I like this 3-wood a lot.
We've been doing some, obviously the indoor stuff that you guys will have seen. This has, for me, been a bit of a surprise for me how good this has been for you.
Yeah, I haven't really been a good 3-wood player in the past.
Right.
It's usually either my driver's okay or my 3-wood's okay, but they've actually both kind of rounded in. I think a little bit of extra loft and going a bit flatter has just made me more comfortable with it. Yeah.
It's not a bomber club per se. It's not
so much. No.
Trying to be a bomber club. It's more just to put yourself in position. But like we said, we see at times when you catch this, it's still capable of being a kind of mid 160s ball speed and getting out there 280, 290.
If you tee it up a bit and kind of catch one just above center, you can definitely.
Okay.
But off the deck, it's got enough spin to I think keep it online quite nicely.
Well, there's going to be a few holes out here today. Certainly, if you get a good drive away in number 2 today, you'll have that in your hands, having a little run at the green and stuff. So it'll be interesting. Okay. And now there's one. The next club in the bag is in production, let's say.
Yeah, it's getting built right now.
It's getting built right now. So Matt's M6 with a Tensei. So same driver shaft, a Tensei 100.
Yep.
In your hybrid. So we're excited to do that one.
I'm looking forward to that one. Yeah.
Yep, that's coming soon.
So I think I'll take the 4-iron. Probably take the 4-iron out when that gets here, because I just don't find to hit it very often. And we'll get to the wedges obviously, but I've been carrying 5 wedges.
Right.
Which I'm liking.
Okay, so that was the idea, and we're kind of skipping past the irons for a second, but we were still going to do pitch, gap sand, lob, but you've kept the 58 in but added the high toe.
I have. So I think probably what will make sense eventually is maybe to adjust the lofts on those, maybe a bit stronger or however we gap it.
Yep,
this, I'm making maybe one full swing around with the high toe, maybe, but it's all around the greens. I'm using it in the bunker as well. The 58 is just kind of a good 105 yardage. I can't hit that with this. I can't hit it quite as far. A little bit more loft, and it doesn't have the same comfort, I guess, through the turf with a more aggressive swing. So I've been using it kind of as it's intended, sort of a specialty club.
I like that. Okay, so irons. Now, we've been through an iron fit with you this year.
We've done a bunch of stuff with
and you never changed the irons. You'd kind of decided that you'd only had the new ones in the bag a year.
Yeah, if that, right?
Yep, if that. So the Strixons are still in the bag for you. So you're still very comfortable with what these do and how they fly, etc.
So yeah, I think when we did the iron fitting, I wasn't swinging the best through that part of the year. It was early. I don't even think we had been outside yet, to be honest.
Orlando,
maybe in Orlando, yeah. So the PXGs were obviously really good, but when I'm playing well, when I'm swinging well, numbers with these are really good. Ball flights are good. There's no reason to change right now.
Okay.
So those they'll be in there for the rest of the year.
Okay. Wedges.
So wedges, we go down to the pitching wedge and then start Vokeys at the 50, 50 degree 12F.
And you're 46 in your pitching wedge?
Yes.
46, 50.
And then 50, then 54.
Yeah.
58.
Yeah.
And then The high toe is kind of just a little wild card in
there.
Yeah,
it's just a unique little specialty club in there.
Yeah.
I kind of like that you've done that, to be honest, and it'll be interesting to see what we end up doing with your wedge setup, whether we go 52, 58 high toe, we go 50, 56 high toe. There's a few different ways we can sort of get around this, but it'll be interesting. Or do we just leave it as is?
It'll be interesting what it ends up with. I think the number of shots I hit in these yardages is so disproportionately higher than what I would hit. I probably have played 4 or 5 rounds and never touched the forearm once.
Yeah, interesting.
So is that really worth a spot in the bag? I doubt it. The hybrid will be good, but I think certainly don't need both.
Right.
So it'll be good though. That's why you kind of get out on the course and see what you end up hitting more often.
Yeah, you turn these sort of theories into practical tests
for sure,
and get out there and see what you need in the course. And you play a lot of your golf at your home course.
Yeah.
You haven't. I think some people maybe get confused with you at times, and they watch it. How well you hit it when we're testing and stuff, and go, why isn't Matty playing the PGA Tour?
Yeah, it's very different outside.
But it's not even that. So you have a job, right? So you've got a full-time gig, and for you to kind of always be changing this and that, like, you need some stability.
For sure.
You've got the way you play your home course, which is where you probably play 80%
at least
of your rounds.
Yep.
So you're really making the bag for what you need at your course.
Yeah, for the most part. It would take something pretty extreme. I think I'd have to play something like 7,300 yards before I'd really need to worry about changing the long end of the bag. The wedges is what you hit on a shorter course most of the time.
Yeah. When you're hitting drivers so often, you're kind of fitting in those little flippy wedges with Larry's wedge system and doing all that sort of stuff, and that's where you can really drive your score down.
It is.
Is a 4-iron going to drive your score down? And that's really what it comes down to, guys. It's which clubs are going to help you sort of score better, help you get out of trouble, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Okay. Yeah, if it's going to have a spot in the bag, it's got to serve some purpose. So the putter
this is an interesting one.
Hasn't probably been talked about much. The putter fitting, we
done
used it a little bit,
but
we were more talking about the Odyssey that time.
Right.
So this is the Bobby Grace
Shiloh
here. What do you call this?
Oh, flow neck.
Flow neck. I definitely like a little flow neck. That's my favorite.
So in flow neck, guys. So Matt kind of rotates the putter quite a lot. So you can see the amount of toe hang that has. That has as much toe hang as you'll really see on a sort of heel toe weighted putter. Certainly some blades like the old sort of Wilson 8802 blade, they hang with as much toe hang as that, but that's as much as really you see.
Right.
So good for controlling the rotation for players that like to get this face swinging a little bit.
Right. Stability shaft, I'm sure people have seen the video.
Yeah, I've seen enough of the stuff we've done on the stability shaft.
Gets a lot of curiosity when I'm playing golf. People always say, "Oh, what's that there?" And you kind of give them the little Cole's notes of it. And I think most people kind of get why it makes sense to potentially invest in something that you hit 30 plus times in a round.
It really is true. I mean, and with the technology on the breakthrough stability shaft, the idea is that it just keeps the face squarer for longer. It reduces twist on off-center strikes.
Which I feel for sure.
Like there's, and I keep saying this, it should be the tagline, there is no downside, there's no person that this doesn't suit.
Which
just isn't.
That is the best kind of way of summing it up.
Everyone should use something that improves all of those aspects.
Yep.
So
even if it's marginal, it's still it's going to be better.
That's it, and it's not so much improving your good swings, it's improving the misses and the consistency. And you're not going to see the benefit in one round, but you'll see the benefit over the scoring over a season.
For sure.
And it'll be interesting to see. I was actually listening to a podcast recently, and they were talking a little bit about why these aren't appearing more in the PGA Tour.
Okay.
And the OEMs are sort of, kind of getting in the way at times of that happening.
Interesting.
So there's lots of people trying it. There's lots of interest in it.
Just not put it in the bag.
Yeah, and where you're starting to see it is people on sort of the LPGA Tour.
Yep. I've seen some on the web tour.
What's it now called?
Sorry, Corn Ferry Tour.
Corn Ferry Tour.
There's a different company sponsors it
now,
yeah.
So there's a lot of guys trying it on there. There's been a few winners this year on the Corn Ferry Tour.
So it'll trickle its way up, I'm sure. Eventually.
It's tough. I mean, really, unless you have marketing dollars to throw at it as well. These guys are so good, they'll go, well, how good's it going to be? So they'll hit a few putts with theirs, hit a few putts with that, and they'll probably go, I hear what you're saying, but maybe not this stuff works.
Yeah.
You know, there's a new version actually. Yeah, there's a new slightly thinner graphite section.
Nice.
Which is going to be, it's designed for tour, to be a little bit more discreet.
I think it's a good idea.
I think so as well.
I'm used to the way it looks, but I can understand why. The fact that it doesn't really taper at all until here, it looks quite different. Right. So it takes getting used to.
Yeah.
So I would be curious, how that other one looks. Official TXG forward putter grip is on here. You can get yours if you like on the store. On the
online store.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, an interest, maybe talk a little bit about the technology, where that kind of positions your hands, Matty, for those who haven't seen us talk about the
probably not
grip.
The easiest to see from there, but it's essentially the opposite of most putter grips. So the meat of the grip is here.
Is it the front?
On the front, versus usually it's under your hands at the back of the shaft. So it just kind of places the grip more in sort of the middle part of your palm. Makes you, I guess, Steve Stricker it a bit more is what I always say to people. It's kind of like up here a bit more.
Gets the hands and sort of wrists in a slightly different position, a slightly more sort of fundamentally sound position for putting.
And so it locks them in a little bit more.
Exactly, so that the hands don't sit low where they can tend to rotate the putter face too much. So you've kind of packed quite a lot in.
There's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on. You've got your radial face technology, you've got your stability shaft, you've got your forward grip. I mean, you know, there's nothing about your putter that's just went, well, I like the look of it, I'll use that one.
And I'm not really that type.
To hear that.
I know, I'm not the type of person that does that.
That might be my most, you know, that to me, when people say it might be the thing that sounds like nails down a blackboard the most for me.
When the objection is so arbitrary.
I like the look of it, so I'll use that.
Yeah.
It's like, really?
That's not right.
That's what you're basing that on. No, there's kind of lots and lots of tech from top to bottom in your putter.
When I miss a putt, it's my fault. That's for sure.
Okay.
All right. So into your bag.
Okay.
A recent addition as of 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
So we did the little comparison. Flash triple diamond here is really a good fit for you, isn't it?
It's a good one. I'm not settled yet this year on the driver. Yeah. Driver's a tough one for me. I'm a pretty average driver of the ball, generally speaking. I wouldn't consider myself a good driver of the ball. I've got a lot of things that kind of can derail my round off the tee. And if I have a good round off the tee, then it kind of holds the whole thing together, and not too much goes wrong. So the driver's very, very important to me.
Absolutely.
As we saw in that driver fit, where you kind of eliminated left for me, got me a little more spin, and really stabilised my flight with that G410. And see, to be honest, I mean, we're going to obviously talk about this one. I still couldn't honestly say that I'm taking that G410 out of the bag.
It's still going to be at least a backup, or sort of one that you'll keep comparing this to. This, just with a little bit of testing, seems to be a little bit more, well, it is more fade biased.
It's definitely a more fade biased head,
and that's
triple diamond.
We put toe weight in both of them, but this starts, it starts fade biased. That one doesn't.
Well, one of the things that I liked about this immediately when I sat it down was and it was set in the neutral head setting. It sat open.
Oh yeah.
So what I actually kind of set it to 1 degree less loft as well. So I've got it set down at 8 degrees.
So you've got it quite open.
And it's even more. Now the thing with it at 8 degrees was it didn't spin. Sorry, it spun still a little bit.
It did spin. Okay.
It did spin. So I was kind of thinking, okay, 8 degrees, I'm a little worried about it. It's a tour-inspired, kind of slightly more open head. Like, this is gonna be a really kind of low-spin monster. It wasn't.
No, it's very balanced, isn't it?
Very, very
It's
good.
not what I expected. I thought it was going to be kind of that low-spin, super fade-biased one.
So TZ5 in there, which, since really the prototypes were out last year, I've been playing that one, very tip stiff.
Good for you.
A shaft that doesn't feel overly stiff. I think that's the biggest compliment I can give them. It is exceptionally stable, but it just doesn't feel it. So that to me is quite nice. I don't like to feel like I'm having to, swing
Most people don't, right?
too hard at it.
Yeah.
So that's the driver.
So there's some interesting stuff that's about to happen here in the mid-range, or the long end of the bag here.
Yep.
So first, that 3-wood. Tell us about this thing. So
this has been something that's been in my bag. So I've got the foresight dots on. I've had this in the bag since probably 2014. This is a Jet Speed Tour head.
Speed Tour.
From the tour truck. 14 degrees. Just a head I fell in love with.
Yeah.
I've kind of liked the feel of it. When in 2016. When in the summer of 2016, Mitsubishi launched the Tensei White range, and this was a prototype version. So it actually has the blue band, but it has the boron on the tip gave that away, and it actually has a proto code.
Oh yeah, it does.
So it's a little prototype code.
So this is before the Tennessee Blue ever came out?
So this was blue had came out, white hadn't come out yet.
Oh, okay.
Right? So the original blue.
So this is a white.
This is a white.
Oh, okay, very cool.
Yep. So that was there was 2 prototypes sent to me, and there was, I think the story went that Justin Rose got a couple of them.
Oh,
One
really?
of them ended up going in his driver that he won the Olympics with that summer in Rio. So there wasn't too many of those kicking about, but at the time 70 TX was a lot for me in 3-wood.
Yep.
I've grown to love it, and it's just a great little club for me. And we actually, funny Kayla, to mention this, we tried to do a 3-wood video for me last week.
We were going to do it, yeah.
We were all set to do like fit Ian for 3-wood, he needs a new 3-wood, and I kind of warmed up with 10 swings, and it was like straight.
And good numbers.
Good numbers, like quite low spin, but that's kind of what I like about it. And we kind of went, this is going to be
we knew
tough.
we were going to waste our time.
We did,
much, right?
which we don't want to do.
We're not going to do that.
I still want to maybe do that video at some point, and when we've got some different options. I would love to try the Mizuno ST190.
Yeah, that TS version or whatever they call it.
Yeah, so what's just the ST190 Tour? Yeah, the
Tour
spoon.
version. Right?
That one I would like to try.
Yeah,
that one sits a little open. It's so fast.
It's quite you should be able to get a bit more forgiveness or something out of a newer club. You think?
I think it's so. This thing, if it's going to do anything wrong, goes a little left.
Oh, it does.
Okay. Again,
so that's not
for
what you
me.
want.
That's not what I want.
Yeah.
So if there's anything I like about that 3-wood, it sits a bit open, Matty, which is going to be right up my alley.
Show us how hard it is to switch a 3-wood. You're playing quite an old club there.
Old one, 5 years old.
And you're doing that with the hybrid too.
This thing's just the best.
So X2 Hot.
X2 Hot.
18 degree Pro.
Pro.
Very nice little compact, kind of like those old Adams, whatever those were called.
Yep, the little
Tour Proto ones.
Little Idea Pro.
So we've seen you hit this quite a bit on the course vlogs.
I do actually hit it on the vlog, don't I? Hit it
seems
quite
to suit a lot of holes when we're playing that stuff.
If you need to hit something out to like 250, it's a dog leg or something.
Pretty reliable draw for you most times.
I'm just so comfortable with it. It's the right weight. 95
X with the Tour AD.
Yeah, Tour AD DI.
Feels quite heavy, this whole
It's
thing.
quite a lot of weight to it.
Very
and you could, there's a theme to that with me, isn't there?
There is,
I do like the clubs to feel quite heavy. And, guys, when it comes to shaft and picking shafts and how we fit people to shafts, I really cannot emphasize enough how important weight is and kind of the role weight plays. And I still get asked all the time, how much, what shaft should I use to kill the spin? What should I use to add spin?
You won't.
Don't look to shafts to do that.
Yeah.
Look to shafts to improve your delivery, to take your impact position to the point where that's the thing that creates the launch conditions.
For sure. Yeah.
So back to
this is another kind of little bit of a surprise for most people.
Yeah, back to the Srixons for me.
So we're back to the same iron heads. We're both playing the 765s. Acro 124.
124i.
So what is this profile like?
Tour series. So this for me was something that was kind of a little bit more to do with some elbow issues I was having.
Yep.
I was having issues with the Dynamic Gold X100s I was playing. I was playing those in my Mizuno MP18s. I've actually just ordered a set of these shafts for my Mizunos.
Okay.
So I'm really keen to try those in the MP18s and get those back in play. But
you hit these well though.
It's such a good iron. Remember that day I can't remember what blog or vlog it was. We were playing one of the first ones. Where did we play the first ones? Pebble, yeah. And I just went back into them and kind of played that next day. And I loved the sound, the feel, the look, obviously, of the 765s.
You got back into a good groove with your iron play with these.
Definitely. So they're good. So still 4 to wedge for me on those, Matty. So nothing complicated.
Crazy.
2 degrees flat.
Okay. Yeah, mine are the same. I should have mentioned that same thing.
2 flat. I play the lofts fairly regular, so 4 irons 22, 5 iron 25, 6 iron 28, 32 in the 7, 36 in the 8, 40 in the 9, and 45 in the wedge.
So kind of modern, traditional.
Fairly modern. Yep.
And then you go into new for this year. You've got RT X4s, Cleveland's.
Rotex 4s, which I love the look of. Really clean,
clubs.
Very little offset. Rotex 3 for me was a wedge that performed quite nicely. I just didn't like the offset, and I didn't like the rounded leading edge.
Gotcha.
It was just not for what I kind of like to see, and the way kind of when I sit a wedge down, I need it when I open it to kind of go through the turf a certain way, and it just didn't perform as I liked.
Yeah, these are really sharp.
Yeah, really clean.
So you've left steel in there for now?
I've left, you know, because I chip with those, I still quite like the heavy feel, but I'm not really taking lots of impact on my right elbow with that.
You're not ripping at them to the same degree.
So I've got 50-10, which is actually 49.
Okay, slightly stronger?
Slightly stronger, so I go 49, 54, 60.
Gotcha.
So 10 degrees of bounce in the 54. Pretty low bounce in the 60. Use 6
what's
degrees.
That? Is that a 6? Okay.
6 degrees of bounce on that.
That's like that Mizuno one I was fooling around with.
Yeah.
I know why. I can see why you like those though.
Yeah, just
some of those chip shots are. You can't really hit that with other stuff.
Yeah, just where you slide
get
the sole
right
under there. So on the putter, still got my. You guys have seen this in my bag a little bit.
Yeah.
Still got the Bobby Grace as well. Little shy, low short slant. Just really nice, really classic sort of shape. Stability shaft in that one. But this is a new one today, and I'm actually going to fool about with this in the putting green before we go out and see if it's used for the day. But a little Peretti, nice little kind of flow neck on there.
This is really nice,
isn't it?
Do they make left-handed putters, these guys?
They do.
Because this is right at my alley. The look of that.
They do.
That looks great.
Really clean. So again, lots of toe hang, kind of like similar to what kind of you've got with yours. So that guy hangs with tons of toe hang. Which again, for me, when I tend to miss a putt, it's always going to be on the kind of low side, rotating the head too much.
This is good.
Good, isn't it? Clean.
Yeah, nice grip and everything.
So be keen to put the stability in it if it works. I'd really like to see this new kind of tour version with a slightly thinner.
Me too.
Slightly thinner kind of
I have a feeling
body to the shaft.
Both of us would flip into that right away.
Yeah. I mean, the stability is just so good. I've kind of been messing about with some counterweight. I've been messing about with some heavier head weights.
Yeah.
Some things that people forget is that when we're adding weight either side, how soft that makes the shaft play in the middle.
True.
So if that stays on a normal shaft, you're adding head weight, you're adding back weight, how soft that middle part can get.
Point.
So that's the beauty of that stability shaft, is it stays really solid and stable in that.
That's a very good point. Never thought about that.
Yeah.
All right. So these are the clubs that are going out on the course shortly.
This is it for today.
Our tee time awaits.
We're heading out there, 18 holes in pretty much as good a day as you'll ever see.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
It's
Wind's
perfect.
even dying down for us.
That's awesome.
All right.
Okay, guys, lots more to come from Cragburn Golf Club, and we'll see you again soon.